is News 3 Now at 10.
But first tonight, some severe weather in our viewing area.
Let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist.
We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 10:30 p.m. for northern portions of Juneau and Adams counties. Strongest part of the storm right now is located just to the northeast of Big Flats and just northeast of Preston, moving to the southeast at about 30 miles per hour. That storm eventually will track through Waushara County west of Wautoma, and that may affect northern portions of Marquette and Green Lake counties over the next half hour or so. Be prepared for strong winds to 60 miles per hour, as well as hail up to the size of quarters or a little bit longer. I'll be back with further updates through the newscast if anything changes.
Gary, thank you. There is a state of emergency curfew in place in Kenosha tonight after civil unrest in response to the police shooting of a black man. That curfew started at 8 p.m. for areas east of I-94 in Kenosha County. Goes until 7 in the morning, but protesters are still out. Our partner station, WTMJ, reports tear gas has been used. Governor Evers activating 125 National Guard members to assist local law enforcement. Last night, people in Kenosha set cars on fire, smashed windows, and clashed with officers in riot gear.
The incident was captured by a bystander, and we want to warn you, it is graphic. And we have edited the video to stop before the shooting takes place. 29-year-old Jacob Blake was shot multiple times in the back last night as police responded to a domestic disturbance call. His fiancée says he was unarmed and that she did not call police. Blake's attorney says he was leaning into an SUV where his 3 children were sitting when he was shot in the back. In the cell phone video, you can hear 7 shots.
New tonight, the eyewitness who captured that video tells CBS News' Mola Langi that before he started filming, one officer had Blake in a headlock. Another one was punching him in the ribs, and he was also tased.
The witness adds that Blake had scuffled with police before the shooting and that he heard an officer tell Blake to, quote, drop the knife, although the witness says he never saw Blake holding one. Tonight, Blake is fighting for his life after being airlifted to the hospital, and the incident is sparking outrage all across the country. Madeline O'Neill joins us live from downtown Madison, where protesters are tonight. Maddie?
Right, well, we just got to State Street here after starting at the Capitol about an hour ago. Marchers went down State Street here, all around University Avenue, down Langdon. Here we are again at State Street marching again. So obviously loud. We heard one woman say earlier on the megaphone that we're here to be loud. We're here to be disruptive. Do not let them silence you. So they've been gaining a lot of people, really. They've been asking people as they go to join them going down Langdon Street. They would stop at houses and ask if they would join them. 2 or 3, a number of people did come out of one of the houses on Langdon Street to join them. Were met with applause, but not all interactions have been so pleasant. We saw some members of the crowd throw something at people watching from the patio, but again, the numbers have grown quite a bit even in just the past hour that we've been out here. Now here on State Street, we did see a few businesses open earlier, staff kind of out watching, but also a number of businesses boarding up their windows throughout the day, still boarding up their windows even in the past half hour. But tonight, everything we have seen so far has been peaceful.
Love ya. Maddie, thank you very much for that report.
Governor Evers calling on the state legislature to convene in a special session a week from today to take up a package of criminal justice reforms his administration created after the death of George Floyd nearly 3 months ago, but a session was never scheduled. Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes also responded saying the people of Wisconsin are done waiting for their elected officials to show up.
And let me be clear, this was not an accident. This wasn't bad police work. This felt like some sort of vendetta being taken out on a member of our community.
Republicans in Kenosha's police union say Governor Evers is going too far, urging caution in making any judgments from the video. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says he plans to form a task force on racial disparities and policing standards, and says the governor is trying to dictate liberal policies that will deepen divisions in our state instead of bringing people together to find solutions.
New at 10, the Wisconsin Professional Police Association is also responding. They do not represent the officers of the Kenosha Police Department and are not involved in this investigation. A statement urges the public public to respect Wisconsin's independent investigation process on use of force incidents and calls out Governor Evers for, quote, painting law enforcement with a broad brush, end quote. But the statement goes on to say the association wholeheartedly supports the governor's decision to call a special session to urgently address the relationship between law enforcement and the community. They say they also support Speaker Voss's long-term approach to form a task force. Protests over the shooting are happening all across the country. In Minneapolis, people rallied at the Hennepin County Government Center, echoing the anguish after the death of George Floyd. In Manhattan, demonstrators gathered in Times Square, and several hundred started marching. Local reporters say protesters want the officers involved in the shooting of Blake to be fired and arrested. Right now, 3 officers have been placed on administrative leave, and state authorities are investigating.
Reaction has been far and wide. Joe Biden in a statement says, quote, we must fight to honor the ideals laid in the original American promise, which we are yet to attain, that all men and women are created equal. And in the sports world, Wisconsin teams reacting. Bucks head coach Mike Budenholzer before their playoff game today in Orlando saying, quote, we need to have change. We need to be better. And the Packers Leadership Council met today with head coach Matt LaFleur. To reporters afterwards, quarterback Aaron Rodgers did not want to comment on the video until more facts come out, but said, quote, there's a systemic problem. And head coach LaFleur adding, quote, we can't stand for this any longer.
For a man in Kenosha, this shooting hits especially close to home. Kenosha police shot and killed his son, Michael Bell Jr., in 2004. Since then, Michael Bell Sr. has been fighting for changes in the Kenosha Police Department and across the state. A bill to change police training to maybe end these mistakes was set to be introduced today. Then Jacob Blake was shot. Bell was emotional watching the video of the shooting.
I remember how emotional, traumatic it was for Michael's mother and Michael's sister to watch him actually gunned down just 10 feet away from him.
Bell isn't certain what will come next for Blake's family, but personally, he hopes the Kenosha County District Attorney doesn't get the final say. He says the DA refused to investigate evidence of a cover-up in his son's case, and he's worried the same thing could happen with Jacob Blake's case. We will continue to have more coverage on this developing story, so be sure to join us for News 3 Now and also online at channel3000.com.
New at 10, Madison police say a person showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound tonight after multiple people reported shots fired on the city's west side. Officials say the injuries are not life-threatening. Callers reported about 15 to 20 gunshots were reported on Schrader Road, just west of Vitence Golfland. A police report notes there is a memorial in that area to 24-year-old Maurice Bowman Jr., who was killed on a shooting on Schrader Road in late July. Witnesses say they saw 5 younger black men with guns who sped off following the gunshots. Police report 2 nearby homes were shot while people were inside, one bullet coming within several feet of a man who was asleep. Police say people at the scene were uncooperative with providing information about what happened. Police say a man was found dead in a wooded portion of Warner Park this afternoon. Officials say a person who found the body knew the man and would go to the park and shelter area with him. An incident report says there was no evidence of any trauma, but an investigation is ongoing and an autopsy has been scheduled.
State and county health officials have confirmed more than 500 new COVID-19 cases today. 2 days ago, Wisconsin's total confirmed cases surpassed 70,000. We are now approaching 71,000. At least 1,090 people have died from the virus. About 8% of new tests in the past day came back positive. The 7-day average sits at about 8% as well, but it was as high as 10.9% on Saturday and has been gradually declining. Today, a new public health Madison and Dane County order took effect, requiring all county schools to begin the school year virtually for 3rd through 12th grade. Kindergarten through 2nd grade are allowed to have in-person instruction, but virtual learning options must be made available.
Republicans are one night into their pitch to the American people.
Amy Reed is live with us to give us the highlights of the first night of the Republican National Convention.
All night, Republicans have talked about policies they say bettered American lives over the past 4 years, and they used this in their pitch, saying America needs 4 more years of President Donald Trump. There have also been a handful of speeches that have talked about what they see as dangers of the Democratic Party, but in the last hour, speakers have focused more on the hope they see from Trump, talking about his support of everyday people rising through the American dream. Former ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, talked about her story and how America isn't perfect.
America isn't perfect, but the principles we hold dear are perfect. There's one thing I've learned. It's that even on our worst day, we are blessed to live in America. It's time to keep that blessing alive for the next generation. This president and this party are committed.
So here are the three things that you need to know about tonight. One, the law and order president. Republicans are trying to set up Trump as this, and part of that is a narrative that Democratic cities are dangerous and Joe Biden will make things worse. Number two, the silent majority. Many speaking tonight talked about how there is a silent majority behind Trump trying to drum up more support. Number three, race does not equal politics. We saw multiple people of color tonight talking about how Democrat leaders have not improved crime or neighborhoods of color, and just because you fit into a certain race doesn't mean you have to fit into certain politics. They also touted Trump's policies. They say improved life for these communities, talking about tax cuts and criminal justice reform. The convention continues tomorrow and through Thursday, and we'll bring you coverage all week here on News 3 Now.
Amy, thank you very much. And coming up next at 10, the University of Minnesota making a proactive decision to try to prevent the spread of COVID-19. An update on the plans to delay campus move-ins in the Twin Cities. Stay with us.
Dear Penny, heads we stay local, tails we hit the road. With a new Toyota, you'll always land a winner. Your friends, Toyota.
Get 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new 2020 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid. Toyota.
Give your home a fresh look with Zinsser Paint from Menards. Smart Coat is an advanced paint and primer in one with smooth coverage, superior adhesion, and exceptional washability. Interior flat is $23.99 a gallon after 11% rebate. Get 11% off on Shaw flooring, such as soft and luxurious carpet and waterproof vinyl planks that easily click together. Save big money and get 11% off everything at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Gene, did you know Geico is now offering an extra 15% credit on car and motorcycle policies?
That's great.
That's 15% on top of what Geico could already save you. So what are you waiting for? John Stamos to knit you a scarf?
All finished, Gene. Enjoy.
Thank you.
I give.
The stitch work is impeccable.
That's just a double fleck pattern with a reverse garter stitch. No big deal.
Is your hair this soft?
Softer.
Geico. Save an extra 15% when you switch by October 7th.
When looking for a TV and internet provider, we know you have a choice. This is Jessica. She still has satellite TV.
Well, I get tons of HD.
Spectrum has tons of HD, and we love Spectrum's 24-hour local news channel. Plus, we get exclusive access to premium original content with Spectrum Originals.
I don't have that.
Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-976-4499.
Spectrum Internet starts at 200 megabits with no data caps and a free modem.
We have to get internet from another company, and it isn't nearly as fast.
Spectrum Internet, $44.99 a month.
I'd switch, but I'm stuck in a contract and would have to pay up to $480 to cancel.
Spectrum has no contracts, and they'll pay up to $500 to help you out of yours.
That's it. I'm switching to Spectrum.
Get Spectrum TV and internet from $44.99 a month each. Call 833-976-4499. Dear Penny, heads we stay local, tails we hit the road. With a new Toyota, you'll always land a winner. Your friends, Toyota.
Get $1,500 customer cash on a new 2020 Highlander or Highlander Hybrid. Toyota.
That was the #1 thing we preached to our leaders from day one in the pandemic, flexibility.
As many parents face a virtual start to the school year, see how one area company is offering support to its employees. Tuesday on News 3 Now this morning.
The video conferencing app Zoom is reporting a widespread outage. In the United States, the problem started on the East Coast this morning and has since spread. In Atlanta, the outage affected public school students on their first day back. Users in the United Kingdom have also been reportedly experiencing issues. Zoom said in a statement it had identified the issue and was working on a fix. The University of Minnesota is delaying campus openings by at least 2 weeks because of COVID-19. The decision was made in response to outbreaks happening at other colleges like the University of Notre Dame and University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Fall undergrad classes will start online and graduate and professional courses will continue as normal.
Fire crews in Northern California are making some progress, battling 3 sets of massive wildfires, but say it'll be weeks before those fires are out. Thousands remain under evacuation orders. At least 7 people have now died. Chris Martinez with the latest from Los Angeles.
14,000 firefighters are battling the wildfires that are ravaging California.
We're currently battling some 625 fires across the state. We're deploying every resource at our disposal.
A break in the weather is allowing crews to get a handle on 3 massive sets of fires surrounding the San Francisco Bay Area. Just in the last week, those fires consumed more than 1.2 million acres, or 1,875 square miles. That includes 2,500-year-old redwoods at the Big Basin Redwood State Park, where fire also wiped out the park's headquarters and campgrounds. More than 1,200 structures are destroyed.
There's no question there are more structures that have been damaged by this historic wildfire season.
Angel Cruz grabbed her cat and fled to this evacuation center as flames approached her neighborhood near Santa Cruz.
Mentally, it's terrible. I mean, we stand to lose everything that we have. Coupled with the pandemic, it's like a double whammy.
Police say they're now dealing with looters in evacuated neighborhoods.
It takes a special person to wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm going to go victimize and traumatize people who have already been through everything that this community's been through.
So far, they've arrested more than a dozen people. The fire in wine country north of San Francisco and another one burning southeast of the city are now 2 of the 3 largest fires in state history. Smoke from the fires has drifted as far as Kansas. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, Governor Newsom said California has had 7,002 wildfires so far this year. That's compared to 4,292 at this time a year ago.
Some storms in our area tonight. Here's Gary with your full forecast.
We're watching storms in the far northern parts of our viewing area. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 10:30 p.m. for northern portions, actually far northeastern portion of Juneau County and northern portions of Adams County. The main threat, I think, from this storm is going to be hail. There might be a little hail core here north of Preston that could be producing quarter-sized hail or a little bit larger. The storm heading off toward the southeast at about 30 miles per hour. That would take it just north of Marquette County by about 10:45. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 10:45 for the southwestern portion of Waushara County. So northern portions of Marquette and Green Lake counties, north of Princeton and north of Green Lake, north of Montello, those areas should be prepared for the possibility for a strong to severe thunderstorm within about the next hour or so. A little wider radar perspective, though, shows most of the thunderstorms have been north and east of Madison. To the south and west, a few showers popping up, not even seeing much in the way of lightning there, and they just kind of pop up and then just kind of fizzle out again because there's a lot of warm air in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. Have not seen any thunderstorm development of any consequence across southern Minnesota. That's where the Storm Prediction Center was thinking the greatest threat for severe weather would be to develop later on tonight. So we'll keep an eye on that overnight because these storms would track to the southeast. So the highest severe weather threat, the slight risk area, covers Madison and areas to the north for hail and high winds. But there's a possibility that an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm could continue on into the far southern parts of our viewing area and stay up north near Green Bay. But wherever these storms track, they are capable of producing some heavy amounts of rain. The storms out there now probably producing rainfall at the rate of about 1 inch an hour. And those storms mainly tracking north and east of Madison could bring some 1 to 2 inch rainfall amounts, whereas areas south and west of Madison, many areas may miss out on the rain altogether from these storms. So we have an alert day in the forecast overnight for the potential for an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm with hail, gusty winds, and heavy rain being the main threats. And then we have alert days in the forecast for tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday as high temperatures get up to 90 degrees or above and heat index readings get into the 90s. Meantime, down along the Gulf Coast, hurricane watch in effect for much of the upper Texas and southern Louisiana Gulf Coast, a storm surge watch in effect for the New Orleans area, and then tropical storm watches south and west of south and east of New Orleans, and then also inland areas of Texas and Louisiana. Not from tropical depression, Marco. It's actually now a depression with maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour. You can see that will weaken pretty quickly as it heads off to the west, but Tropical Storm Laura is now expected to become a hurricane perhaps within the next few hours and then head northeastward, perhaps making landfall as a strong Category 2 or low-end Category 3 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of around 110 miles per hour with gusts to over 130 miles per hour. Then that will weaken as it moves inland and then still maintains tropical storm strength up to the Ohio River and then brings heavy rainfall into the southeastern part of the country. Fortunately, the biggest effects from that will stay to our south. So for tomorrow, look for any lingering thunderstorms to end early. Then it'll turn sunny, hot, and humid with a high temperature of 90. On future track, again, the best chances for thunderstorms will be north and east of Madison overnight. And then tomorrow we'll see some sunshine with high temperatures around 90 degrees. Again, rainfall amounts spotty. The better chances for more significant rains will be north and east of Madison, south and west of Madison. Some areas may miss out on the rain altogether. 7 to 10 day forecast, 90s through Thursday. Thunderstorms on Friday will break the heat. Then you see those temperatures dropping back into the 70s. Another pretty good chance for thunderstorms from Monday afternoon into Tuesday of next week. We could use the rain in a lot of areas, and hopefully that will bring it to the people who need it the most.
Yeah, a lot of people need it. Your grass needs it, Gary. I saw it the other day.
Well, thank you.
Mine does it as well. It's brown. It hurts to walk on. It's gotten so dry. Gary, thank you. Just ahead in sports, Brewers bouncing back after a bad weekend. How Justin Smoke helped the crew snap their 4-game losing streak. Jackson next with sports.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Wild Easttown Honda has clearance savings on over 400 new Hondas. Get 0% financing for up to 60 months on your favorite new Hondas at Wild Easttown Honda in Madison. It's gotta be wild.
Uneven surfaces are a major hazard to your family, friends, and employees. Don't risk another fall. Let Concrete Lifting Technologies raise up your pavement. Our minimally intrusive process uses polyurethane to level sunken concrete and provide an even surface. Plus, this process is a fraction of the cost to replacing your driveway. Concrete Lifting Technologies, Southern Wisconsin's premier concrete leveling specialists. For a free estimate, contact us today.
Come in today for Rubens' annual leather event. Rubens has received generous discounts from all our fine leather suppliers. Natuzzi, American Leather, and many other manufacturers have allowed Rubens to give you up to 10% off on all leather furniture. Rubens' downtown store and Westside store have many pieces that are available for immediate delivery. Remember, all interior design services are complimentary. Stop into either Rubens today for our leather event.
In these trying times, we're here for moms. Hy-Vee Aisles Online has more pickup and delivery times that fit your schedule, so you have more time to be the boss, chauffeur, doctor, hairstylist, chef, cleaning lady, storyteller, and, depending on how back to school time goes, teacher. With all the roles you play, it's time to let us be your grocery shopper, so you can have more time for work time, school time, playtime, dinner time, and me time. Hy-Vee Aisles Online. We're here for moms.
What happens now? Now that the rent's due, but they've cut your pay. Now that the virus has cost lives, but your health care costs too much. Now that our president has had months, but he still doesn't have a plan. What happens now? Joe Biden knows how to lead through a crisis because he's done it before. When our economy was on the verge of collapse, Joe Biden led the largest economic stimulus in a generation and saved millions of jobs. Now Joe Biden is ready to lead us through this crisis. He knows rebuilding our economy starts with fighting the virus, increasing testing, getting more protective gear for healthcare workers, and calling for mask mandates nationwide. As president, he'll get working families back on their feet by lowering healthcare costs and helping small businesses recover. So what happens now? We elect a president who will build back better.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Wild Easttown Honda has clearance savings on 400 new Hondas. Lease a new all-wheel drive CR-V for $269. That's $269 and absolutely zero due at signing at Wild Easttown Honda in Madison. It's gotta be wild.
Brutal is probably the best way to describe the Brewers over the weekend. They didn't just lose to the Pirates, they got swept by the worst team in the majors and entered their 10-game homestand on a 4-game losing streak. First 4 at Miller Park are against the Reds, and the crew finally scored a run in the first inning. Justin Smoke smacks one into center to bring home Christian Yelich, and the Brewers take a 1-0 lead. And then in the third, Smoke is up again, and that man sends a smoke show to right. The 2-run shot puts Milwaukee up 3-0. They'd snap their losing streak with a 4-2 win. Chris Middleton has been in sort of a slump since the playoffs began. The Bucks guard, who normally is lights out, is shooting just 32% from the floor and averaging 11 points. Normally, he's around 50% and 20 points per game. So how do you get out of it? Keep shooting the rock. Jump to the third, Bucks up 3, and Giannis puts the entire Magic team on a poster. Wesley Matthews, huge fan of that poster. Giannis finished with 31 points, 15 rebounds, and 8 assists. Still, though, the Bucks only led by 3 points to start the fourth. And that's when Chris Middleton got hot. He had 3 points alone in the first quarter. First 3 quarters, scored 18 alone in the fourth. Bucks started the quarter on an 18-2 run. Never looked back. Milwaukee goes up 3-1 in the series. And better news, Middleton's out of his slump, thanks to Giannis.
At the end of the third quarter, I just told him, I said, shoot the ball until your arms fall off. Like, just keep being aggressive. It doesn't matter. Shoot it every time you touch. Just shoot it every time. Eventually it's going to go in.
No matter how I'm shooting, I got to keep shooting. That's the only way it's going to go in. You know, at times I think I'm unselfish, and there's times where I think I have to force the issue, and I think that's what they really wanted me to do, at least start doing in that fourth quarter.
And remember about a month ago when we introduced you to Caden Zinkel and his Driving for Dollars mission, where he wanted to A, golf 100 holes in a day, and B, raise money for the Steve Stricker Foundation? Today was his big day, and Caden teed off at 5:41 this morning and golfed 111 holes, birdieing 12 of them. And so far, he's raised over $3,726. Way to go, Caden. We're back after this.
Lately, we found new ways to support and care for each other. And while every gesture counts, so too does every dollar. That's why American Family Insurance is returning $425 million to our customers. This includes a 10% savings for all current and new auto customers for the rest of the year. We hope this does your world some good and reminds you that supporting your dreams means the world to us. Contact your agent or go to amfam.com to learn about more ways to save.
Check it out.
It'd be crazy to do this stroke.
But even crazier to do that drunk. Drive sober on your wheels.
And we mean all your wheels.
When you put money in a big bank, there it goes. But when you keep your money at Associated Bank, it gets invested close to home. It might become this family's renovation or help this little one's college fund. It could build local business or your favorite neighborhood spot. Because when you bank with Associated Bank, your money works in your community. All you have to do is make a simple choice. Send your money there or keep it here. Associated Bank. Your money works here.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh? With the Pick and Save app, you can get personalized coupons on top of weekly sales and rewards like fuel points, all for prices that are lower than the everyday low. So go ahead, get lower than low. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
At Papa Murphy's, we need seriously, chop seriously, and shred seriously. Because we're serious about Tuesdays, even if you're not. Every Tuesday, get a large pizza for just $10. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is here with great offers on a huge selection. Shop across the Ford lineup, America's best-selling brand. And get peace of mind with the Ford Promise. It's summer, so grab the family and head out. It's easier now during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Choose FlexBuy and get Fusion with 0% financing for 66 months plus $3,000 bonus cash, or lease one for just $199.
This year, school is going to be full of changes.
What will school be like, and how can we make sure our kids are safe?
We're getting the answers you need to help you prepare.
So keep an eye on News 3 Now this morning and get ready to go back to school.
This portion of News 3 Now is sponsored by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly.
And this is a live look in Kenosha, where there is still a group of protesters out tonight, despite an emergency curfew. Tonight, we have seen images of large flames while people shared their outrage over the police shooting of 29-year-old Jacob Blake in front of his children. Blake is in critical condition. The National Guard is helping local law enforcement, and our partner station WTMJ tells us tear gas was used.
And here in Madison, protesters are continuing to march down State Street.
Madeline O'Neill joins us again from downtown. Maddie?
Well, earlier at 10, you saw us on State Street following the crowd that was marching. We've seen Jacob Blake had been painted on the boards here. They're protesting following Jacob Blake's shooting. Now on the Capitol steps here, we've heard from a few speakers. They formed a human chain with black and brown people inside, white alleys on the outside surrounding them, something we saw in the wake of George Floyd's death as well during those protests. So far tonight, we haven't seen many police other than to cut off traffic, but so far, things have been peaceful here tonight.
All right, Maddie, thank you.
Let's go to Gary. He's got some ever-changing information in the weather department.
Yeah, the severe thunderstorm warning has now been extended until 11:15 p.m. for pretty much the northern two-thirds of Adams County and extreme northeastern portions of Juneau County. The cell we're watching is just northeast of Adams. This area here may be producing some large hail, perhaps up to the size of ping pong balls or a little bit larger. The track of this storm will take it in southeasterly direction. Eventually could move into areas north of Westfield in the northern portions of Marquette County. So be prepared for large hail, wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour or stronger with this area of thunderstorms. It also is producing some very heavy rainfall amounts. You can see from Coloma into the northern portions of Juneau and Adams counties, over an inch or two of rain has fallen just over the last hour or so. Also some areas down by Oxford have picked up an inch or two of rain, and these storms will continue to produce heavy rain and perhaps some localized flooding and hail as they head off toward the south and east. So again, severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 11:15 p.m. for most of northern and central Adams County and far northeastern portions of Juneau County. We'll keep an eye on the situation overnight. We'll be now joining our program in progress.
Now, a WISC TV editorial with editorial director Neil Heinen.
How is it possible we are here again? Of course, our fellow citizens who are black would ask, how is it possible anyone would think we wouldn't be here again? It seemed like everything had finally changed, but in fact, everything has not yet. But it's hard to believe that another black man has been shot by a police officer in the back. As this is being written, Jacob Blake is still alive. I hope that is still true as you hear it. And a week from now and a year from now, because Jacob Blake's life matters. But in addition to Jacob Blake surviving, we must also hope response is swift and meaningful, that reforms are required and enacted, that protests are powerful, cathartic, and peaceful, because this cannot happen again. Can it?